Burkina Faso's rejection of Japan's Africa Hometown project is not just about one country. It is a symbol. A warning. A reminder that Africa must invest in Africa. Because if we do not build Africa, no one else will. This is Make Africa Great, and together, we say, Africa is not for export. Africa is for Africans, and Africa is for the future. Breaking news from West Africa. Japan has proposed a program to invite Africans to live and work in their regions under a project called Africa Hometown. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso has a firm answer: no. Africa will not build the future of others while our own land cries for development. Today, we uncover why Burkina Faso said no, and why this decision could inspire a new African awakening. Japan, through its International Cooperation Agency, JITSA, has created a project called Africa Hometown. The idea is simple but controversial: bring Africans to live in small towns in Japan, to help revive their shrinking communities and strengthen ties with Africa. On paper, it sounds like opportunity. Jobs. Exchange. A chance for Africans to settle in one of the world's richest countries. But scratch beneath the surface, and it looks like something very familiar: a new way of draining Africa's talent, a modern brain drain. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young leader of Burkina Faso, responded with clarity. He said, "It does not make sense for Africa to go and build other continents at this time. Africa is calling her children in the diaspora to come back. Africa is not a place for producing cheap labor." Traoré's words are not just about Burkina Faso. They echo the Pan-African vision of leaders from Kwame Nkrumah to Thomas Sankara. Instead of exporting Africa's strongest, brightest, and most skilled to foreign lands, he says Africa must equip its own people with tools, machines, and technology, to rebuild Africa, not Japan, not Europe, not America. Think about it: Africa is the youngest continent in the world. By 2050, 1 in 4 humans will be African. Yet, at the same time, Japan's population is shrinking. Their future is threatened by aging. That's why they need African labor, to revive their countryside, to power their economy. But here's the truth: Africa itself is in desperate need of that same energy. Our farms, our factories, our hospitals, our classrooms. Every engineer, every nurse, every farmer that leaves, is a gap Africa must fill again. If Africa's children leave to build Japan, who will build Africa's smart cities? Who will mine Africa's resources responsibly? Who will defend Africa's sovereignty? Burkina Faso is sending a clear message. Instead of exporting people, the country is importing tools. Tractors, machines, and equipment for agriculture. Technology for energy and construction. They are not begging others to build for them, they are building with their own hands. And Traoré is calling Africans in the diaspora: return home. Bring your skills, your knowledge, your experience. Africa needs you more than Tokyo, more than Paris, more than Washington. This is the shift happening across the continent. From Namibia's mining reforms, to the Sahel Confederation's fight for independence, Africa is learning: we cannot continue being cheap labor. We must be masters of our destiny. So, when Japan asks Africa to send her children, Burkina Faso says no. Because Africa has already lost too much: millions taken in slavery, millions more drained through colonial labor, and now millions tempted by so-called opportunities abroad. The new Africa is rising. And this Africa will not send her sons and daughters to rebuild another land, while our villages lack clean water, while our cities lack factories, while our youth struggle for hope. This is not rejection of friendship. It is a declaration of dignity.
Hello, habari, ohayo gozaimasu. That is Japanese greetings of families, friends, fellow Africans. Do you know that Japanese are inviting Africans to live in Japan, while the continent of Africa, through African Union, calling our children from a diaspora to come back home Japanese is also inviting Africans to go and live in Japan. Japan, through the JICA, or Japan International Cooperation Agency, has launched a special program called Africa Hometowns, designed to invite Africans to live in selected regions of Japan set aside for African partnership. Japan has explained that the Africa Hometown Initiative is aimed to revitalizing rural areas of the country by strengthening the relationship that local governments have built with African nations. According to JICA official statement, the goal of JICA Africa Hometown is to help address Africa's challenges while also revitalizing Japanese regions by deepening the ties between local governments and African countries. JICA confirmed that 4 cities have been designed as JICA African Hometown partners. Imabari City, Ethime Prefecture with Mozambique. So Mozambique, that is your city in Japan. Kasalazu City, Chiba Prefecture with Nigeria. So Nigerians, if you want to go to live in Japan, the road is open. Be prepared. You have a city there called Chiba Kasalazu City. Sanjo City, Niigata Prefecture with Ghanaian. So Ghanaians, be prepared to be in Japan. This is Sanjo City for you. Nagai City, Yamagata Prefecture with Tanzanian. So Tanzanian, this is another place for you to live. But the question is, why JICA want Africans to go and live in Japan? The question is simple. Japan has seen that Africans build America, Africans build Europe. So Japanese have seen this is the time for Africans to build Japan. And we know very well that right now, Japan has high population of old men and women. There's no young people. They adopted the birth control. So right now they see the effect of birth control. The high population of Japanese are old men and women. In the near future, there will be no Japanese youth. So the manpower is going to be decreased. So that's why Japanese want Africans to go and live in Japan. Another thing that Japanese are not much interested to have more families, but Africans are much interested to have more, to have family, to have more children. In Japan, people you find has maybe 1 or 2 children. Of course, it is only 1 in Japan, and China, of course, now has increased it. But in Africa, you can find a family with even 20 children. But in Japan, it is difficult. And that's why they want Africans to go and live in Japan to increase the population of Japanese. And one thing that they will do, they will give, of course, I know they will select African men, because we know that African men are giants and they will be given Japanese women. So they will cross Africans and Japanese to get a new generation. That generation will come back as Africans to demand resources. That's what Japanese right now are focusing. And as Africans, we need to be careful, to be much selective. These people, they have seen far than us. While we Africans, we are still focusing on smaller things. Others are focusing 10 years, 100 years to come. We know in the year 2050, almost in every 5 people, 4 would be Africans. In every 5 people, 4 would be Africans. So they see that in the near future, Africans will dominate the world. So for Africans to dominate the world, they need Africans. And they know that Africans are hard workers, Africans are strong men and women. So they want Africans to go and work in Japan, in rural areas, to develop those cities. You may ask why they didn't choose or select Osaka, the industrial city. Why not Yokohama, the business city? Why not Tokyo, international and business city? Why they have chosen these prefectures, these local or these village cities? It's because they want Africans to go there to live. And what they will do, they will speak with politicians. I know African politicians will go to the villages in the African countries. They will take our people, our children. They will promise them good things. Then they will take Africans to Japan. I know we'll go there. And because we have seen, for instance, you remember President William Samoei Ruto promised the Kenyans that there are some job opportunity in Israel to become gardeners. You see, to be cheap laborers. The things that many Kenyans opposed and reacted and said we cannot be cheap laborers at this era. They said we would not go to Israel, we would not go to Yemen. Kenyans rejected. But in many African countries, life is so difficult. I'm sure some Africans will be in Japan, because there are those who still believing that maybe outside of the continent there is a green pasture. But Africans, this is my warning to you. Don't think that there is some free lunch somewhere. You have to pay for it. No free lunch in this world. No one is here to help you. Everyone that you see, if they want you because you are so energetic. They want your power. They want your energy. They want to use you for their own benefit. So you need to be careful, Africans. So to those who will be cheated, I know African politicians are being used every time and now to sabotage and to destroy this continent. They will accept it. And they will say, we have got opportunities, job opportunities for our people to go and live and work in Japan. And they use good words, sugar-coated words, saying you will get what we call these foreign currencies. You know, I don't understand when people are talking about foreign currencies. The country will get foreign currencies. You will be paid in foreign currencies. What does the foreign currency mean to us while we are suffering? What does our foreign currencies mean to us while we are going there as a cheap labor? This is another kind of slavery. And I urge Africans not to accept these things. We need to be vigilant. We need to be careful. We need to be selective. There's no need for we Africans to go and live in Japan. Why? Because right now we are calling our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to come back home. And yet, we who are in the continent, we are also running away. What does this mean? And if it's true, I wish African Union have to say something. It doesn't make sense that we are asking and calling our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to come back home. Please come back home. Come and invest in our motherland. Come and do this and that in our motherland. And yet, other people are taking our people out of this continent. Then after maybe 50 years or 100 years, we'll do the same thing that we are doing right now. We'll start calling our mothers, our fathers, our relatives in Japan to come back home and invest in our motherland. You see, does it make sense to us? What's wrong with us Africans? Why we have so egos? So I think the good thing and the important things that we need to do as Africans is to stay here in the continent of Africa to build our nation. If Japanese build the nation, let us Africans stay here in the continent of Africa and build our continent. This is another kind of slavery. This is a new kind of slavery. And we are going to be cheap laborers for how long? It doesn't make sense that Japanese, this is a good relationship because Africans can go and... Why Africans are not invited in Tokyo, in Osaka, in Yokohama, in Kyoto? Why Africans being invited in these cities? So, brothers and sisters, that is what is happening right now. While we are busy trying to call our brothers and sisters to come back home, others are taking them out of this continent. That is the Africa that we have. The Africa that we are not speaking with one voice. I hope President Traore can help us for this. Don't allow your children to go back, to go in somewhere else. Keep your people in your homeland. Support them, help them to build your nations. Other leaders, we need to wake up. We are calling our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to come back home to support us. So this is a time for Africans to build our continent, not the time for Africans to build other continent. We know Japan has a scarcity of money power, so that's why they want Africans to go there. They want Africans who can more productive to produce of course, they want the species of Africa. The species of Africans are giants. That's why they have selected Ghana, Mozambique, Nigeria, and Tanzania. They want to cross, to create new species of people. And especially those people come back to demand our resources because they say, I'm Africans. My father came from this area. I'm origin of this area. So I'm here to take what my father's and that's what they want to do. So brothers and sisters, we need to be vigilant, we need to be careful. After that, I have no more to share. Thank you for watching. Share this video to other Africans, and that is what is happening right now in our motherland, our continent, Africa. So after that, let me say, have a nice time. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make African great. Thank you, Africa.